The types of art. Here we have first the architecture. And we all know that architecture is the art of building, especially the art or practice of designing and building structures, and especially habitable ones. And the person who is in charge for this architectural design, we call him or her architect. Architect is a skilled professional who plans and designs buildings. They are professionally licensed and highly trained in the art of science and in building design. Architects decide the size, the shape, and what the building will be made from. They also make drawings. They call it drafting. Now let's proceed to the 8 types of architectural design and also the names, or yes, the names of the architects. We have here the commercial, residential, sustainable, green design, industrial, conservation, landscape, urban, and interior. In the first picture, we have the commercial architecture design. The architects of this design are experts in designing buildings that are functional for a large number of users. They specializes in designing commercial buildings such as retail shops, office towers, hotels, museums, hospitals, public buildings, and other non-residential properties. That's commercial architecture. Another type is residential architecture. The residential architects are expert in designing residential houses, and they are typically work with private clients and real estate developers. So they must have a creative skills to turn clients' dream home into what reality. Okay. Now let's proceed to the third picture. We have the sustainable or green design architecture. The architects of this design are expert in creating environmental friendly and energy efficient buildings. So they must have knowledge about what best sustainable products and green building methods should be. Another picture, we have the industrial architecture. Industrial architects are expert in building warehouses, factories. We also have storage buildings or power plants or terminals and many more. So they must have that knowledge of integrate the machine or equipment into a functional building design, as you can see in our example. That's industrial architecture. Another type of architecture is conservation architecture. The conservation architects are expert in restoration of protected and historical properties such as museums, residential buildings that hold historical interest. So they must have knowledge in renovating, in other words. Another architecture is a landscape architecture. So the architects focuses in designing development of what? Outdoor spaces such as private and public gardens. Also lawns, parks, walkways, golf course, resorts, and other recreational spaces. That's landscape architecture. Then we also have urban. The next picture, urban architecture. The urban designers, they are involved in what? In city planning and also focus on the design of an area as a whole rather than individual buildings, as you can see in our example. So they will decide where the residential houses or commercial shops or public utility or bridges and other infrastructure will be built within a city or town. That's urban architecture. The last one is the interior architecture or interior architects. They focus on the art of what? Designing an interior spaces. Okay, so those are the types of architectural design and the artist. Another type of art we have dance. Dance is a sport and art form that generally refers to movement of the body. Usually rhythmic and used as a form of expression, social interaction, or presented in a spiritual or performance setting. So the person or the artist in this type of dance is, we call him or her a dancer. So the dancer or a dancer is someone who dances, who move his or her body artistically. And there are certain types of dances class. We have the ballet, ballroom, contemporary. Sorry, that's contemporary. We have the hip hop, jazz, tap dance, folk dance, and many more. For ballet dance is a highly technical form of dance with many subgenres including classical, romantic, contemporary. For ballroom class, it's a type of partner dance originating in the end of 16th century in France. So it's a popular form of competitive dance. While contemporary is one of the most popular and technical forms of dance in US and Europe. So it is known for its emphasis on strong torso and leg work. Another, we have hip hop dance. It refers to a range of street dances that develop in relation to hip hop music or culture. So it is commonly performed in outdoor spaces, the hip hop dance. Then we also have jazz. Jazz dance originated in the 17th century at Africa. So the dance style emerged with jazz music. Then we also have tap dance. Tap dance is characterized by tap of shoes by hitting the floor as the person dances. So the dancers often wear metal taps on the heel and toe of the shoes. That's tap dance. Then we also have folk dance in our example. Folk dance is celebrated worldwide with people of different cultures. That's why we call it folk. And it focusing the various forms of folk dances, which portrays what emotion, stories, and also historical events of a particular region or nation. Now let's proceed to fashion design. Fashion design is the applied art dedicated to clothing and lifestyle accessories and created within the culture and social influences of a specific time. So the artist here, we call him or her fashion designer. The fashion designers are artists that are expert in what? Customize clothings or ready-to-wear clothings. That's fashion design. Next one, the type of art is literature. Literature comes from the Latin word litera, which means letters or any written artwork. For instance, we have the epic, poems, riddles, myths, legends, or prehistory or folk tales. There are many written artworks in the Philippines that includes the Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, the books of our national hero, Dr. Jose P. Rizal. Another type of art is music. Music is a way to express ourselves and be able to connect to other people. So it's an art form whose medium is sound, organized in time. There are common elements of music, for instance, pitch, timbre, harmony, and so on. Okay. There are many genres of music. First, we have the country music. Country music originated in the rural of southern US in the early 1920s, and traditionally a mix of ballads and dance tunes with simple form of folk lyrics. So here in the Philippines, we have Filipino artists of country music also. Another is rock music. Rock music evolved from rock and roll and pop music in the mid and late of 1960s. Can you name some of the Filipino artists under this genre? Raise your heads. Are you familiar with that artist? How about Parokya ni Edgar?
River Maya.
Wow, very good. River Maya, Sponge Cola.
Cycle Vibe.
Very good. Kamikaze, Itchy Worms. Okay. So
Slapshock.
yes,
Cycle Mind.
very good. Okay. Those are the artists under this genre, rock music. Another, we have the jazz music. Jazz music, popular dance music influenced by jazz in a loud rhythmic manner. So Filipino artists, can you name under this genre? We have Siti Navarro, Ryan Cayabyab. How about Lani Mizalucha? Who else? Leia Salonga and Jaya. Another is uh, classical music. Classical music class is rooted in the traditions of Western culture, including religious and secular music. So Filipino artists under this genre, we have in the 1980s, we have Nicanor Abelardo. We also have Ryan Cayabyab,
Lea
Cecilia,
Salonga.
Leia Salonga. Very good.
My
Okay, so
God.
those are the artists. Okay, now let's proceed to hip hop music. Hip hop music, also known as rap music, developed in the US in 1970s. Filipino artists under this music genre, we have Glock 9, am I right?
Francis Magalona.
Francis Magalona.
Antidote.
Who else?
My God.
Andrew E.
Andrew E.
Antidote.
Abra.
Abra, X
Kadabra.
Battalion, and many more. Okay, very good. Next, we have the pop music. Pop music is originated in 1950s in the US and usually played on electronic instruments. So Filipino artists, can you name some? We have Regine Velasquez.
Sarah Geronimo.
Very good. Sarah Hieronimo. Who else?
Gary
Charis
Valenzuela.
Tempengo.
Gary
Okay,
Valenciano.
Gary.
Cyrus
Gary.
po.
Okay,
Sharon
yes.
Cyrus.
Cuneta.
Okay, Sharon Cuneta.
po.
Hip
Moira.
hop ma'am.
Bautista.
Okay,
FB
wow.
Michael
19.
Pangilinan.
Wow. Very good. Okay.
Lubraini
Next
naman.
we have folk music. Are you familiar with that? Began in traditional genre associated with folklore of the origin. So artists, we have Freddie
Freddie
Aguilar,
Aguilar. Joey Ayala.
Asipa, Joey Ayala. Very good. We're folk
Lita
music artists.
Corrales.
Felita Corrales. Okay. How about blues? Blues is an African American music that traverses a wide range of emotion. It expresses what? Longing for better life. Okay, Filipino artists, we have R&B, JR. How about Kyla?
Kyla.
Kyla, Sarah
Chris
Hieronimo.
Lawrence.
Yes, Chris Lawrence. We have KZ
Moira.
Tandingan.
Moira.
Yes, Moira, Jason D, Daryl Ong, and
Katrina
many more.
Bernarde.
Eric Santos.
Okay, very good. Next, we have religious music. Religious music is performed for religious use or Christian or gospel songs. We have artists, Filipino artists. Can you name? Jamie Rivera. Who else? Gary V. Okay, no need to. Yes, Gary
Basil
Robert
V. Very
Sena,
good.
Valdez.
Jamie
Basil
Rivera, sabi
Valdez.
niya.
Jamie Rivera. Very good, Jamie Rivera. Okay,
Jamie
thank
Bondok.
you. Okay, you name some. Very good. Now let's proceed to another type of art, which is decorative arts. It concerned with designs and decoration of object that is
Chance.
chiefly prized for its utility rather than for its purely aesthetic. So these artworks class are both useful and beautiful. Example, we have ceramic, metalwares, textile, jewelry, and many more. That's decorative art. Another type is graphic art. It refers to art of drawing or painting or printing which focuses on visual communication and presentation, which includes cartoons, caricature, comic strips, sketching, until it evolved to printmaking. Another also type of graphic arts, we have calligraphy, photography, and computer graphics. Then we also have plastic arts that includes visual art that involve the use of materials that can be molded in some way, often in 3 dimensions. So it derived from the word plasticize, meaning to mold. So it describes any artwork class which involves modeling or molding in a 3D form. That's plastic art. Then another, we have the popular art. Popular art is most popular art styles. We have the abstract, we also have expressionism, cubism, and also modern art. So it refers to any dance, any literature, music, or theater intended to be received and appreciated by ordinary people in a literate, technologically advanced society dominated by urban culture. We call it pop art, means popular art. Okay, so another type we have painting. We already discussed this one in our previous meeting. Painting is the practice of applying paint, pigment, color, or other medium to a surface like wall, paper, canvas, wood, or glass. So it is an important form in the visual arts. It expresses creativity. Then we also have sculpture. Sculpture, it can be defined as the art of practice of creating 3D or three-dimensional forms or figures through what? Carving, modeling, and sculpture. So it is one of the plastic arts also. The sculptural process originally used carvings. Carvings meaning the removal of material, and modeling meaning the addition of material such as clay. Okay, so this is now the last topic that we have, the steps to begin an artwork. First is to conceptualize a good subject, meaning what you want to communicate with your intended audience. So the planning here and the decisions are very much important. Another step is how big do you want to portray your object? The scale of an art can change its entire feel, meaning you have to observe the scale and proportion in art. It is very necessary to know how big is your artwork or the size of your artwork because size also matters. Another is create your own craft, expresses own identity. Here, by creating your own craft is one way of showing your own identity, your own individuality. Another one is think about placement. The way you place shapes on a two-dimensional form. So the artist must or you must have keen observation in using the lines, the colors, the shapes, and also the other elements. Number 5, control your line. Any subject you choose will have at least an outline as well another line to give it depth. So meaning line here expresses various moods as we discussed last time and feelings together with other art elements. So it's very important to control your line. Lastly, add contrast. Visual art should have a full range of values from dark to light. Okay, from dark to light. So it employs what? It also create rhythms or strengthen and focus of your artwork. So you have to observe also the application of colors, the brightness and also the darkness of your artwork. Okay, so that's all for this afternoon. I hope you have learned something in our discussion.